Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for Handmade Chelsea Online. My name is Lucky, and I'm hosting the session with Diana Sherling of Flo Jewellery. She's going to be talking about her passions, but particularly how her passion of history and art have combined to create her wonderful pieces. So I'm going to pass it over to you now, and you have the floor.
Oh, thanks, Lucky. Thank you very much for having me. My name's Diana. I'm the designer and jeweler for Flo Jewellery. I've been designing and making for about 5 years. Flo is actually our daughter. The original idea was to inspire her to be creative and entrepreneurial. And so we started Flo in 2015. At that point, I think I was still working in advertising full-time as an executive, and started evening courses at the City Lit. And as many jewelers, just got the bug. And so I worked and studied together for about 3 years, and then Flo tipped to be full-time about 2 years ago. So Flo for me kind of brought 3 things together. It brought, as Lucky said, my love for art and fashion history, with music and culture and everything, but you'll particularly see my love of colour and some of my books, my library. I love learning, essentially. And it brought together my love of craft. I think working in an office, working with my brain for so many years, I was desperate to actually do something with my hands. And my grandfather was master tailor. My grandmother was a huge gardener. My mum is very, very creative, and her love of art history, from the old masters to the surrealists, was a wonderful way to grow up. And for me, I really got the art history bug at school when I started learning about Greek mythology, and really loved the stories, and then learned about the sculpture and the art, and that took me all through school to college, and my MA, where I did in classical art and architecture. And that really just I still love it. I still love it, and you can never stop learning. And then the third part is business. So when I left my master's, I started a fabulous career in advertising. And advertising, the training of working in an agency, and the training of understanding the customer and putting the customer first and building everything around that customer need, is very much core to how I run my business and how I develop my collections. And particularly the creative process, which is exactly the same steps as the design process or an art process, really defines how I design. And that's what I'm going to talk to you today about, and show you a couple of examples of 2 collections and the steps that I went through. So really the design process starts with a brief, and I often create my own brief. The brief that I create is really around my customer, and what does she wear and where does she go. So I have collections that are around more everyday styling, collections that are around more occasional styling, and everywhere in between. So really we start with a brief, then we have the concept, and the concept can be have lots of different elements to it. Usually I start with a mood board. It could be inspired from a song, or as you'll see, some paintings. Then I go into sketching, prototyping, and manufacture. So show you some pretty pictures. So the first collection I'm going to talk about is Midsummer's Night's Dream, which is this gemstone collection here. So I'm just going to see if I can flip the screen to show you some pictures. So the first thing that I'm going to show you, so my concepts often start from photos or paintings or some form of art. And I, certainly being in the house and looking at my garden and loving the garden over lockdown, I really fell in love with Monet again, and just the colours and the beauty of his of his gardens, which I just love, love, love. I'm very influenced in fashion, so I would often look to couture. This is Dior by Maria Grazia Chiuri, about 2017. I particularly love the textures and how the ateliers create sort of the illusion of impressionist pictures, textures in fabrics. This is Dior from 2015, and I just love. I'm very, very influenced by couture. So the first thing I do is often as I put together a mood board, and this is the mood board that I put for Midsummer's Night. It's very beautiful, it's very ephemeral, it's very, very feminine. So the way I first started was I wanted this to be a gemstone centric collection. So I then got a lot of gemstones, and I didn't want it necessarily to be hierarchy by precious or non-precious. It's all about color. So I started playing around with color. These are morganites and amethysts and emeralds and rose quartz, and then started creating my sketches over here. And sort of planning what pieces I was going to go where. So you've got moonstone and rock crystal, you've got pink zircon and peach pearls. So these are some more of my sketches of necklaces. And then I start making the actual prototypes, which are here. So these are some of the pieces in the collection. These are all in 14 karat yellow gold. I make everything about this from the mounts to everything really. So the mounts are designed the way they are to ensure that there is as much light that goes through to the actual gem as possible. These are opals, these are called Lysander, and they are really, really lovely. So yeah, so that's my Midsummer's Night's Dream, and I've been very lucky to work with a lot of fashion editorial. This was a part of the shoot that I did with a photographer called Nathan Roberts and a stylist called Grace Levers. And you can see it all kind of, and these are the pieces that were with that. So that all beautifully kind of fits together. The second collection I'm going to show you is one called Luna. So I used to read this book, beautiful book by Eric Carle, called Papa Get the Moon for Me, for his daughter, and it's a delightful little book. My name's Diana, and as the Roman goddess of the moon has always been a part of my life, whether I wanted it or not. But the moon is fascinating, and it's taken on a whole new world since we've been at home and we've seen the moon more than we ever did. So that was essentially the starting block, and then I started looking at some couture, which really, this is Chanel, that I really love just the textures. What I wanted to do is create moon-like jewellery, but really look at textures and how I was going to create textures. So the first place I started was art. So these are some of the watercolors that I started off doing. Really, how would you portray the moon in art? And then a little bit more impressionistic, looking at different techniques that I could use, and then trying to create more 3D shapes and forms to emulate the craters, emulate the how the sun reacts and with the moon, and color and light and form. And then I thought, well, okay, that is quite interesting for texture, but it doesn't really, there's a lot of just texture in jewelry, so how am I going to be different? So a lot of the ways that I was looking at is art direction, and also how I was going to convey movement. So I started looking at more movement in the solar system, of how stars move together or how gases worked around the planets, and then use that and thought, well, actually these would look great as diamonds over the surface. So then I started thinking, okay, well, I'm going to paint my moons with diamonds. So this is how I started designing some of the rings and some of the earrings and other pieces as part of the collection. So here are some of the pieces. So here are, these are in white gold because it looks more moon-like, but they look fabulous in rose and yellow. So these are flush set with little diamonds on white gold, and the surface has been textured. And some of the rings. So this is Ganymede. So they're all named after different moons in the solar system. This is Callista, not really see, and Europa. So a lot of the so you can see from there we go. Here we are. So you can see how you can take any idea, but something that you're passionate about, and then turn it and then do some more research and understand a little bit more and take different influences from different places. So I particularly love art and science and nature with history, and then try and convey that in 2D, 3D, and then building up collections that way.
Wonderful. Could you tell us about price range?
Price range. So the price range depends on the collection, because, and it depends on essentially how much gold has been used. So I think the lunar ones, so I do, everything is in solid gold. So I use 9, 14 and 18 karat gold. It's all recycled gold and ethically sourced, all fair trade chains. All the diamonds are GIA certified and conflict free and from trusted sources. So from a price point of view, I think they start from, I would say, about £200 to some of the chains. So some of the chains on for Midsummer. So if you think about that, there's these are, I think this is about £2,000, only because this is 14 and 18 karat, and there's a lot of gold essentially, and it takes a bit of time to.
Sorry, what are the stones that you use in that one?
These are rock crystal. So these are fancy cut. Can you see this? Yeah, these are fancy cut rock crystals that come from America. So I have only a very few number of suppliers who I obtain my my gemstones and my diamonds from, because I've vetted them. I'm an ethical jeweler, so that, to me, that means that all my suppliers have to be ethical as much as they can. So whether that's responsibly sourced or whether that's certified, or what they can do, or whether it's a very small business and they've been generation upon generation being trading diamonds, for example. I am very happy to support other small businesses. So yeah, so these are from Midsummer's Night's Dream, and so all the gemstones are kind of fancy cuts, and none of the two are the same, but they're all quite unique, and they're quite, as you can see, they're sort of the size of a thumbnail. They're a couple of carats each, but they're good. They look great, as you can see.
Yeah, very nice. Could you show us some of the rings again?
The rings?
Yeah, if you could model it for us so we can see what it would look like.
So I have, there we go. Oh no, there we go. So let me take my rings off. So hopefully that will fit. So this is Ganymede. The dark is the reflection of the
And how much are those retailing for?
Can't remember, to be honest. I think probably about 500, because I think they start at 14, and then that's Callista. So these are all slightly different. I've got the other one, so I've got whole, and then Europa, which is cool. So they've all got this lovely textured surface, and then little flush set diamonds. Just going to try and find. I've got some lovely. Of course, they're not wearable. I have some. I have. Actually, let me just see if I've got some lovely rings from Astra. Just not wholly. See if I can find them over here. Gone. Yeah, I've got wrong one. Oh dear. Okay. I've got some new stacking rings from, which of course I can't find. From Astra, which are lovely. Which yeah, I can't find them. If I can see them, I will let you know.
That's fine. Just because we're running close to the end of your session, very quickly, those earrings that you had, those very colourful ones, could we just see them again? Maybe just if you could model them by putting them near your ear.
Sure. So I've got, so these are Midsummer's Night's Dream. So this is Nixie.
Oh wow, that is gorgeous.
Lovely, aren't they? They're just, you know what? It's just fun. It is, well, it's fun. These are the opals. These are this is Lysander. And what I love about this is that actually, because it's such a good color, I can wear white and t-shirt and jeans and it's fine, and I can wear a white shirt and it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's just a good neutral. And then this is one of my favorites, just because I think the colors are so strong and so pretty together.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, they're nice. And then I do a lot of bespoke color combinations. So if somebody has, so these are opal with chalcedony. So somebody has like a, you know, I've had people who send me pictures of the colors that are in a dress, for example. So I'll try and match as close as possible the two main colors that they're wearing.
Wonderful.
Quite good fun. So it means that you've always got a pair of earrings that will match an outfit.
Of course, you need the right earrings. I need to get some new earrings, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, gorgeous. I absolutely love the blue ones. The blue ones pop really, really nicely.
Yeah, well, these ones.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so gentle as well with it, so it really enables the blue to really stand out.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining, and thank you so much, Diana, for showing us through from beginning to end how you ideate and create your jewelry. So that's amazing.